I was wondering whether people were doing the top button buttoned or unbuttoned, and you've clearly chosen the unbuttoned, or you chose the buttoned route, and I went unbuttoned.
There's a lot of hair under here that would come out, so don't want to scare away the viewers.
I just feel too constricted when I button it up. Let me see. I'm gonna try it.
We should definitely have a conversation about the collar because there's definitely some debate.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about the collar, but I noticed that you were buttoned. Let's see.
Yeah.
Nah, it's too formal. We're not going to church. We're going to soccer. All right. What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Mint City Soccer Show. I am Corey Inscoe, joined by my twin, Matt Swift. Matt,
hello.
How you doing?
Good, man. Yeah, we're twinning it up. I like it.
Yeah, for anybody listening, which is most of our audience, we are wearing the matching Carolina Lightnin throwback kits with the exact same hat. Mm-hmm. The only difference is being Matt has his buttoned up all the way. I have mine unbuttoned at the top. But we even have the same player on the back, I'm pretty sure, if I remember the images from last week correctly. We were both Westwood, correct?
That is correct.
So we were matching today. And there is no Matt Swift, though I think he's wearing the Lightning kit in spirit, wherever he is tonight.
Oh, I'm Matt Swift. Do you mean David?
Did I say Matt Swift? There's no David Gustler. Matt's here. Yeah. It's fine. Everything's fine. My brain's okay. David's off wearing the Carolina Lightning kit in spirit, not with us this week. But we do have Matt, just to make it all clear again what's going on. Should we talk about, we talked about it before we actually started recording. Do we need to talk about this kit and specifically the collar? Do we want to start with that? Let's just dive right into how we feel about this right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of debate over this collar. There's people that are not too happy with it. It is strange because of the way it's constructed in the back. Mm-hmm. And they kept the back, kind of, flat back there because of the, they got like the image back there and the MLS patch and everything like that. So
sure.
It's not like a normal collar. And I think that's where the issues arise.
It's like a fake collar, as you can see me messing with it on the YouTube. It's like, it ends like halfway around the back and it kind of is a little fold, which just means it's going to get messed up constantly. Like when people are playing and running around or you're just like sitting in the stands, it's not going to stay down. Here's my beef that I have that I didn't realize until I showed up at the stadium on Wednesday night because Nate, friend of the show, referee, sits beside me, was wearing the replica version. And the replica has a full collar. Full all the way around normal collar.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's what I want. But like, I'm just a sucker for getting the authentic kits all the time. But the replica, if you care about the collar, the replica has a full normal person collar. So that's a good thing. Otherwise, I love this very much. It makes me happy. But the collar kind of drives me crazy.
Yeah, they did a good job with the rollout. It was nice to get the Carolina Lightning players to kind of be involved with the launch. They were at the team store taking photos, and they had like a little locker, like an old school locker with the trophy.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really, really nice touch. For the players, they had like a patch in the middle too. That's right in between the Adidas and the crown, specifically for them. I did hear though that they are thinking about having a patch that you could add on to the jersey later on, kind of like we did with like the Explorer, and you also got the Anton Walks patch and everything too that you could put in the middle. So they are thinking about doing that. I don't think that's confirmed, but could see that coming out sometime.
Nice. That'd be cool. No, I like it. I really like all I'm a sucker for a throwback. I think all of are they calling the heritage kits? Was that what the official name is? I can't remember the actual name. Archive, heritage, something like that.
Yeah.
all the throwback.
A couple of names. Yeah.
I think it's cool. It's been fun to see, like watching soccer over the weekend and on Wednesday, seeing all the other handful of teams that have them. It's cool to kind of see some of these throwback uniforms. So I love that, and I'm glad we got to be a part of it. Even though our team's only 4 years older, we managed to do a throwback anyway to the Lightnin, which was pretty cool, and being able to honor them, like you said. And yeah, like when I showed at the team store, I wasn't expecting that, but like there were just former players like wandering around the store and out by the lockers. It was a pretty cool experience. So yeah. Awesome there. And we probably won't talk about this match as much because we're going to focus on Atlanta, I think, a little bit. But we won wearing these kits for the first time on Wednesday night. We haven't recorded since then, so if we talk a little bit about that. The 2-1 win for Charlotte over DC United, much needed. BL scoring 2 goals, basically on either side of halftime, which was pretty nice. So yeah, anything you want to talk about from that match before we kind of mostly focus on Atlanta? I just want to make sure we didn't skip over anything there.
Man, that seems so long ago, doesn't it?
It really does.
But no, it was good to get a win at home and gave us some momentum going into Atlanta. Pep Biel just continues to shine and be amazing. Nothing crazy really stood out per se. Gave up another goal that was a little odd, and we'll talk about Atlanta. But other than that, it was a great night. I had a really, really good time that night. I got to sit in the vault. Got to sit with Chris Harmon and Chico and BJ, and and my buddy Steven. Just had a really fun night of soccer, which was much needed.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree. I mean, it was a mostly good performance. I feel like we just had another one of those situations where after we get a lead midway through the second half, we just have a period of time where it feels like we're absorbing everything and on our back foot and struggling. And that's when we give up that goal kind of out of nowhere, really felt like. And then after that, I felt like we were absorbing a whole lot more and then seemed to take a little more control later in the match. But still, it's just these moments that all of a sudden it's like we feel comfortable, we feel good about the match. And all of a sudden it's like, ooh, are we about to draw and or lose this one? But they held on. Didn't keep the clean sheet, but held on and got again, all these home wins right now are massive to get back to where we think we should be.
Yeah, the subs in this game were a little more timely, but still a little off. And to what you're kind of saying, we lost control a little bit, but once we made the subs again, it kind of righted the ship, and
totally.
We were okay. Just I wish it would have come a little sooner, but again, it was the right move. And eventually it paid off. So good stuff all around.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's get into Saturday. Yeah. Traveled down I-85 a couple hours to Atlanta. Our home away from home.
That's right.
I didn't make a disc track this time, unfortunately. Like that's something you do once and you get the really good moment with that. I did not invest the time in making a disc track this time, even though it would have been a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. We didn't make the trip to Atlanta, but a good couple 3,000 people did. Atlanta shoved them as far away from the field as they possibly could. They opened the entire bowl for this one, which I thought was interesting because it didn't. I don't know what the actual announced attendance was, but it didn't look like it was that big of a crowd. I mean, or I should say, the crowd was spread out. It wasn't like they had like the full place open. It might have ended up being a decent sized crowd, but because they had the entire bowl, it felt very sparse in places when you see camera angles and stuff like that. So it's interesting to have the whole bowl open. But they had us, 2,000 to 3,000 traveling supporters way up there, but they still made themselves known and heard very well on the broadcast. So always credit to the people who travel on and make these trips and cheer and are loud, because it's really fun to be watching a match at home and hear our supporters singing and chanting and cheering and all that stuff. So that was a lot of fun.
It's great, man. Like we're in year 4 and it's not dying off. If anything, it's getting more people are, hearing about this trip to Atlanta, and Atlanta fans don't come here like that. I mean, there's hardly anybody that comes, and I found that kind of kind of strange. I don't know. So I'm very proud of the way that we travel to Atlanta and also like DC too. We have a lot of people that go to DC,
Yeah.
and then a lot of people that go to Nashville. And these are not like close.
No.
DC's what? It's like 6 hours. Atlanta's still like 4 hours.
Yeah.
God, if you're on a bus, it's like 15 hours. So, but yeah, it's something. There's something to be said about our fans. Even like I said, I could maybe understand that there would be a drop off after year one, after the kind of the big hype is done. But no, if anything, it's gotten bigger, which is crazy, and it's amazing.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun, and you're right. It's not even just even those three local ones. I think we just have such great traveling support. So,
Yeah.
what I mean, again, we talked about when I was in Chicago and other places even farther away. Montreal, we had a good chunk of fans. I mean, again, seeing what other teams bring to Charlotte when they visit compared to what we regularly have other places, it's a real credit to the fan base to be showing up, and I think a credit to the team, doing the season ticket holder free away match
Hmm. Yeah.
giveaway kind of situation. Not a giveaway; it's part of your season ticket package. But that
Yeah.
encourages people who maybe wouldn't otherwise consider traveling to make a point to pick a city and go and be loud and bring that support on the road. So really cool. And they had a decent bit to cheer about
Yeah.
in this 3-2 win over that city down south. I guess we'll just kind of do like we normally do and work through lineups and anything else we want to talk about. Nothing really surprising in the lineup, I don't think.
Mm-mm.
Basically, what we expected to roll out. We've been a similar version of what we've been rolling out the last few matches. Yeah. Any thoughts there? We're just kind of this is what we're at right now until Burn comes back.
Yeah, I think this is kind of where we're at. It's still interesting though that Bill's on the right and Ruddy's on the left.
Yeah.
They actually play opposite normal.
Yeah.
Like if Bill's going to play on as a fullback, it's usually the other way. But for whatever reason, Dean wants to play that way. And you said we had a lot of cheer about, but that first half, not so much to
True.
cheer about.
Fair. I was forgetting the first half and only thinking
Yeah,
about the second half. You're
no,
right.
that's good. No, but as far as the lineup goes, no real shock. Abada not starting. He had I guess a knock in training.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting, but yeah. Other than that, everything was pretty good.
Yeah, but to your point, that first half was not pretty. It was not the most enjoyable half of soccer that we've
No,
watched this season, or especially recently.
yeah.
Um, yeah, anything? I know obviously there's a goal we can talk about for Atlanta to kind of take the lead, but anything pre that or any just general thoughts you have about how we looked in that first half?
Yeah, we really did not look good at all. What I'm seeing is there's this gap between Westwood, Bronico, and Pep Yeo. And it's
Mm,
almost like Bronico and Westwood want to play the same position. So a lot of times they're literally side by side. And then you have Pep with a pretty good gap in between them, running, making little runs and everything like that. And it really leaves a lot of space there. And I think in the first half, we didn't have anything going through the middle.
nope.
And then they were absolutely killing Ruddy on that left hand side.
Yes.
Every single ball down that side, down that side, down that side. And I was really really worried after the first half. I was like, and I think we were texting. I'm like, we need to change the midfield because
Yeah.
it just was not working. We couldn't get anything going. Like I said, you had Bronico and Westwood kind of not taking up space in the middle the way they should, and we just couldn't get anything going. Like I said, and then Almiron and Atlanta just were absolutely destroying Ruddy on that side. If you got Zaha
Right.
over there, that doesn't give you a lot of defensive cover. And if I'm
Right.
Atlanta, I would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the second half, but the first half, whoo boy, it was not great.
No, and that right side to lead into the first goal in the 19th minute. That first goal came on that right side where they make a run down there. Zaha's back defending a little bit. Ruddy tries to make a sliding
Yeah.
tackle clearance that
Yeah.
comes right back to an Atlanta player, and then in the middle there, I don't know if it was Malanda and Bill who got a little lost, kind of who was where, but Muyombo was just by himself,
Yeah.
uh, right there in the middle of the box to head home a nice goal for Atlanta. So it really, it was just that pressure kept coming. It seemed like it was just a matter of time before they broke through, and sure enough, they do it there to take that 1-goal lead, and then like you said at that point. And really for the rest of the half, for the most part, like there wasn't anything that gave me a whole lot of promise that things were going to turn around. It just kept being more of the same. We couldn't get anything going, weren't even getting into good areas or getting into a good attacking play. Just a lot of defending and a lot of losing balls under pressure, and it really looked pretty rough in that first half.
Yeah, I want to go back to that first goal because I think it's kind of the epitome of what's been wrong with us. And look, I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole of how I feel about our fullback play, but I'm not going to knock Ruddy a lot. But again, our fullbacks are killing us. But I will say this first goal there's not a lot at fault with him. Zaha gets beat.
Yep, Zaha gets beat.
Ruddy comes over and kind of doesn't really make the tackle that he probably should have. And then the ball kind of gets played in between them, and then he, stabs and kicks the ball away.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. If you watch it, Brant Bronico, what happens and what I've been saying has been going on all season, Brant Bronico is now pulled from the middle, coming over to help Ruddy and Zaha. So he's being dragged out of the middle. The ball, when it's stabbed away by Ruddy, goes to the player that probably Bronico would be guarding. That dude puts the ball in. And then this is what is driving me absolutely nuts, too, that I keep seeing. Watch Tim Ream on this play. Tim Ream kind of looks around and thinks like, oh, I need to step up as I guess going to play an offside trap. The problem is he just steps in the space, doesn't step to a man, steps into space. If you do yourself there, so you don't have to watch the whole game, just watch the match highlights.
Yeah.
You'll see what I'm talking about. He steps up into space, not to a man, and that's what messes everything up. Bill has, I think, knocked down 2 dudes on the back post, by the way. And so if you go back, there's 2 dudes just laying out. And so you have Malanda and you have Tim not sure who to guard. But also, too, Ashley Westwood is at fault for this goal because he's in the box, ball watching, loses the guy behind him, or he thinks that Tim and Malanda are going to get him. The thing is, like, it doesn't seem like anybody's talking to one another.
Yes.
And when I play defense, I'm not saying I'm a professional player, but when I play defense, my sweeper, my goalkeeper, I'm yelling like, I've got number 7. I've got this guy. You get this guy. Like, there doesn't seem to be any communication. And I'll talk about the second goal in a little bit, but there's this weird thing that our players are doing about this, like, stepping up to catch people offsides. But, like, clearly there's people behind you. So I don't know why they're doing it. And it's driving me nuts.
Yeah. No, it is. I'm watching the replay as you're talking about it. It is worth looking because, Ream is in this whole sequence is never within like 7 yards of another player. Like he's not actually defending anyone. He's defending a space, but there ain't nobody in his space.
No one's in his space. And then watch him kind of like look around like, oh my God, I got to step up.
Yeah.
Because, to keep that line. And that's all well and good, but like you might want to step to a guy when you do it instead of like, I'm going to step up in this empty space of nothing.
Yeah. And then you see the 4, you see like, again, I kind of paused it there. You see like Bill and you see Malanda and Ream and Westwood all kind of standing there looking at each other like,
it's
what
like
was
the
that?
Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's exactly. Like, it's almost exactly the Spider-Man meme of looking at each other like, "Was that yours? Was that mine? Who was that?"
So again, I think this goal again is the epitome of what's been going on. It starts out wide, our fullbacks not making plays, people getting drug out of the middle, and then our defense just for whatever reason this year just not communicating.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely frustrating. But you're right. It's something we've seen all season, and even as we're getting some of these wins that have been really really key in these past few weeks, we're still seeing some of those same issues, maybe to a lesser degree. Maybe we're making up for them with some goal scoring, but we're still seeing some of those same defensive issues that we've been talking about for feels like a couple months now. So
yeah, the second goal really really makes me mad. But
yeah.
let's talk about some fun stuff first.
Yeah, I would say anything else in the first half before we get to how we came out of halftime there.
No, let's definitely talk about halftime, and then the first 15 seconds of it. I have some thoughts about this too. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh no, you jump into it. Are you talking about the late arrival at halftime, or what are we talking about at halftime?
I can't tell you just how much this makes me happy because, and I gotta tell you this. If this was Charlotte FC and Dean Smith pulled that crap and our players were late coming out and we get scored on 15 seconds in, I am on everywhere I can. # Dean out. If I'm Atlanta United fan, there is no way in hell I stand for that shit. Like,
yeah,
you are playing at home. There is absolutely zero reason for you to come out late like that. And I hate teams that do that crap. But our boys were on the field. They were ready to go. Clearly, Dean had lit a fire under their butts, and just the karma of it. And I just was because I was angry as hell because I was mad about the first half. Let's be honest.
Sure.
And so I'm like, who does Atlanta think they are coming out late like this? Is a bull. And then when we scored, I was like, that's what you get. Like, so I was so pumped about it.
No, it was beautiful. Yeah. So if you happen to miss the very beginning of the second half or anything, so like I guess when the broadcast came back on, they basically showed a bunch of the Charlotte players kind of standing around with the ref, being like, what's going on? And then you showed the Atlanta team running out pretty late, late. They were late. They were definitely late.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Coming out, which again is something I feel like you see when you're away.
Yeah.
Especially, and I also think it's more often when you're down. Like I don't know. I feel like just when I've seen teams do this in any sport, it's more of like you're away and you were down, and then you come out either whether strategically or accidentally you come out late, whatever. But to do it in this situation at home when you're up a goal feels very weird. But we did absolutely come out ready to go. Basically, right off the halftime kick there. With a wild little sequence. This reminded me I should know this off the top of my head, and I cannot think about what it was. What game did this happen to us? It was a team that we should have beaten. We were over. Was it Miami early in the season this year where they came out? We should have beaten Miami that game. And was it like right at the beginning of the second half? They clearly had a plan. They executed it, scored that one goal, and parked the bus. Was it Miami?
That's a good question. I'm not sure.
The at Miami match. I'll look this up while you're talking at some point. I'll stall a little bit and make sure. But either way, that's basically what happened is right off the kickoff, they clearly had a plan of how they wanted to attack, and they executed it pretty beautifully. I mean, we could talk about it being an own goal and whatever kind of flub happened to get the ball into the net. But the build-up play to it was perfect. They put a nice ball in the middle. Tokomati goes for it. It actually seems to come off the defender for Atlanta. Either way, it sneaks past Batman, Guzan, and goes into the back of the net.
I can't tell you how much I dislike Brad Guzan. I've never liked him. I could not. I never liked him as the U.S. men's national team goalkeeper. I always thought he was not any good. I know he played in England, but I just never thought he was any good.
Yeah.
And he just looks like a freaking clown, dude. Like the
face mask was a nice little touch to everything.
Like, how dumb can you possibly? I don't know. I just don't like him. But man, let me tell you, Vargas had a really good match, and he's starting to string together some matches where defensively and offensively he's just playing great. And I don't see how you bench him going forward, but good for him to get that ball, drive forward, and put a really good ball across the box. And that's the thing, when you play balls like that, you never know what's going to happen. And Tokomati, again, off the ball, makes a really, really good run, and waits and gets on the other side of the defender. He could have cut in front of him, but he decides to
Mm-hmm.
go more back post, and gets rewarded for it. It was great.
It was Miami I was thinking of.
Okay.
Thanks for talking for a minute for me to look it up.
Yeah, yeah.
When this happened to us, it was what, second game of the season, playing at Miami. This is where they got a red card right before the first half. We had dominated the entire match. They got a red card, so we're up a man. Like Messi wasn't playing. This was just like very clearly we should win this
Yeah.
match. And right out of halftime, they get the ball first and execute a nice little play where I can't remember who it was. They got behind, goes and scores in like the first minute of the second half. So this felt, I mean, obviously more goals were scored. There's more drama in this game, but this felt like that, where it was like we'd been playing poorly. We'd been overmatched the entire first half. It didn't seem like we had anything going on. And we came out of halftime motivated with a plan and with clearly like a let's attack immediately kind of game plan. And it worked, and it changed the tone of the entire match after that going forward. The second half, like a completely different game than the first half after we get that goal there.
Yeah, it's interesting, and I kind of go back and forth on this. Let's make no mistake. I am super excited about winning this game on the road. Yes, Atlanta's not that great.
Sure,
I'll say that, but a win is a win, especially on the road. I do think there was a little bit of, because we scored that goal so quick, it just completely just derailed Atlanta.
Yeah.
They stopped going to Ruddy's side as much,
Yep.
and didn't really stick to their game plan. I think Atlanta's just a dumpster fire anyway right now. But I think that goal just completely threw them all. Now, if we don't score that goal, I don't know how this goes.
Yeah, totally.
But I will say we did start moving the ball better through the middle, because it was literally non-existent. And I think Brandt and Westwood and Pep did a better job in the second half of getting in those pockets of space. We could talk about the second goal in a little bit. But, there is a mix of, yes, it's Atlanta. They're not very good. But also, too, we did what we were supposed to do.
Yeah.
We came out, scored early, attacked, and that's how you change games. And maybe sometimes if you don't score that goal, maybe you don't win. But we did score that goal, and we did win.
Yeah, I mean, I think those goals right before and after halftime are massive. They can really change the entire momentum of a match, and definitely did so in this case. I think you can even argue in the DC match too, getting that goal right before halftime really just kind of changed things and changed the momentum of that match a little bit.
That's a good point, Corey, because I will say, kind of going back to DC, God, I've completely forgot about it.
I know, it feels so long ago.
It did seem like in the first half, I had this thought. I was like, oh man, is this going to be one of those games where we have all of these chances, but it's just not going to come off for us, and this is going to be like a 0-0 draw? Like, it just seemed like could be one of those nights, and you see it all the time, right? You have a team that absolutely deserves the win, and I had it in my head. I'm like, oh my God, Dean Smith, after the game, he's going to talk about how we should have won this game, and all these things were going through my head. But to your point, we did get that goal, and I think that really set us up. So it's
absolutely
crucial. Yeah,
it is. I thought it was interesting. They flashed this stat up if you're watching on Apple TV, because it comes into play very strongly here, about that period, those 15 minutes basically from halftime to the 60th minute for Atlanta and Charlotte. Atlanta has conceded, well, at this point in the match where it was 1-1, had conceded 16 goals in that period of time, which was the most in MLS. Jeez. And we had scored 12 in that time, which was tied for the most in MLS.
Huh, there you go.
And minutes after they flashed that stat up, we added another one. So that period, period, which I think is such a crucial time. It's really that beginning of that second half. I mean, again, even the first half is too, but beginning of that second half can really make or break things and how the momentum goes. And so I think getting 2 goals in that period for Charlotte really was crucial in this match, and kind of taking advantage early in the second half and getting that lead against Atlanta in a game where it didn't really feel like in the first half we had much of a chance to do that. But I just thought it was interesting that, the very different fortunes in that kind of 15 minutes of play there. And just funny, they flashed the stat up, and within a few minutes, another goal was added to those tallies in that period
That's
of
pretty
time.
funny. I didn't realize that during the game. That's hilarious.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So second goal.
Yeah.
What do we want to say about it?
Yeah, let's start with Ruddy, because I've been a little critical of him, but this starts with Ruddy gets the ball to Bronico, and here's the big difference I think in the second half, and this is what we have to start doing. If you go back and watch, Bronico receives this ball and he immediately opens his body, because Bronico is going to possess the ball. He's going to make the easy pass. He's going to get it to somebody's feet, right? But what he does this time is he opens his body up and looks forward, and then actually starts dribbling into space. Then so you've got Bronico in space. You have Westwood in behind him. Westwood has kind of like took a spot kind of more along that back line. So you have this space. They're not playing side by side, right? So you have this space.
Yep.
What Pep does, if you look, he gets into a progressive spot, not just a spot to receive the ball. He gets in a good spot between two defenders, right? He kind of just moves a little bit. Now, Atlanta doesn't do a good job of marking Pep or whatever the case is. But Bronico doesn't hesitate. He gets Pep the ball. What does Pep do? Turns and goes. That's what we have to start doing in the midfield.
Yeah.
We've got to get Brandt and Westwood a little more space in between them and lined up better. And then that with Pep. And then that's the spine. Again, our center mids can't be pulled out of place by our fullbacks, but that right there was what we need to do. And so then after that, he finds Zaha
to just manhandle people.
Yeah. And the referee, did you see the referee?
I don't remember. No.
Go back. You guys should watch this. I think Charlotte FC's social media team put this out too. The referee, because Atlanta's complaining that, he got bullied off the ball and it was a foul. The referee does this Hulk Hogan pose. He goes,
oh yeah,
that, does like that, like saying, hey, like it was shoulder to shoulder, like strong. You need to hit the gym, dude. It was hilarious. And I think Jeremy posted in our Discord channel too. I think he posted that clip too. And I'm just like, what a hilarious thing for the referee to say. I mean, it was very it illustrated what happened. You just got bodied, dude. You need to be stronger. I don't know what to tell you.
Because I saw him tap the shoulder. I had missed in the run of play that he did the strongman arms, but he absolutely did. But yeah, I mean that's exactly what Zaha did. I mean Zaha just gets the ball. He's got a defender right in front of him, but the other center back is closing in too. It wasn't a clear cut straight ahead run to the goal, and he just takes it and just shoulders both of them basically. He one at a time. They come into him, he just gives him a shoulder, and then puts it past Batman. So it was, I mean, just an impressive goal from him to stay upright, to show that strength, and to put it away right there. But yeah, to your point, I think the midfield was a real bright spot of that one as well too. Is showing how that's how we can be building up from the midfield if everybody's positioned and kind of thinking in that attacking way. So yeah, that one got me excited.
And where does Zaha get this ball though? Look where Zaha is. Where is he not normally? Zaha's always out wide, right? He gets the ball, two people come over and close him down. He gets this ball more in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
Where we don't see him a lot. And not only getting, sometimes we'll be dribbling around the box, he'll get the ball at the top of the box, but everybody's kind of set in front of him. Very rarely do we see Zaha in the middle, kind of in transition. But that's what he can do.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see some maybe more movement too between him and Toklomati, sometimes kind of going in and out. Because if you look, Toklomati kind of goes out of the middle, out of that space, and comes out on the wing. and it opens things up for Zaha. So it was just a really, really, really good goal, and I was really excited to see how that all panned out.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that was an nice one. That had me pretty loud on the porch there to see that one. So
Yeah,
that was good stuff. And then we added one more because I mean Pep BL is just unreal.
phenomenal. Yeah,
Just unreal. Someone, I think we forgot to ask this question, so I want to give it credit because I meant to ask it a long time ago. But someone asked if like remember when we were in the transfer window when we were getting Pep, there was Calvin Stings,
mm-hmm.
who was the guy everybody was excited about, the big signing, who fell through because of medical issue. He failed the medical. And I was like, oh, we're just getting the backup, option that we wanted this guy, but we're getting the backup. And so it was Will who asked, the Stings failed medical, the luckiest thing to happen to Charlotte FC, because boy, did we luck out with having Pep in that role.
Yeah, I think everybody needs to send a "I'm sorry" message to Zorn. Because, and I'm being serious, because there were so many people that crapped all over the front office about this Stings thing and this failed medical and just this stupid narrative that our front office doesn't know what they're doing. They wait to the quote unquote last second to sign somebody. It's just tired garbage that I can't stand seeing anymore. It's like find a different joke to post. It's kind of lazy humor at this point, but no, like we were firm. We're like, he failed this physical. We don't know. We're not going to risk all this money for him. And then, before that, like we were linked to Almiron last season, right?
Yeah.
And then we get Pep in, and everybody was kind of like, oh, see, we can't sign these big players. We got to go get this jobber on loan. And then Pep comes in and has a pretty, decent season. But still, I remember so many people crapping on him. Like, oh, yeah, of course we got to go, get the Walmart version of Almiron, or like, got to get this dude on loan. And, our front office sucks and everything like that. Who looks dumb now? Like, look how well Pep has done. And I mean, and I would much rather have Pep over Stings and Miguel Almiron. I put out a tweet kind of making fun of, like, just imagine signing Almiron over Pep Biel.
Yeah.
So it's just a phenomenal signing, still on loan. We'll talk about making that a permanent deal, which we absolutely should.
Yep.
Because protect Pep at all costs at this point. Give him anything he wants.
Yep.
Because he's just really shown his quality, and I just couldn't be happier. It's a shame that he's not an MLS All-Star.
Yeah. 10 goals and 11 assists so far this season in MLS. I mean, it's just absolutely nuts. Next closest scorer is Patrick, who is no longer with us. Makes it sound like he died. He did not die. He is in England. And Zaha with 6. Next closest assist is Zaha with 4. I mean, it's just like the attack goes through Pep, and he's consistently shown that he can be that guy. And it's just wildly impressive. And again, he showed it again in this match with, again, we just talked about the assist to Zaha, but then he grabbed his own goal there in the 77th minute as well.
Yeah, just link up play between Zaha and Pep, 2 players that should be, one is a DP and the other one surely should be a DP. That's what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
The 2 guys that get paid the most, well, there's 3 of them, but there's 2 guys that get paid the most that actually do what they're supposed to do and like make plays. That's why you pay him this money. The other one sits on the bench and can't play 90 minutes.
Yep, that is true. No, it almost didn't even feel like Pep got the ball very well, but he just placed it perfectly. But yeah, it was just really nice. He's wide open at the top of the box, puts it in nicely, and we see some nice stuff there.
I love that he can shoot the ball.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
The man can pass. He can shoot. I love his work rate too. We always talk about Westwood and Bronico, of course, but Pep is really good about running, hustling, the attitude. I like that he's a little feisty, but he's not one of those players too. If he gets fouled, he's going to lay around and make a big deal out of it. I really like the whole package of Pep. I'm just blown away about just how good he's been, and I'm hoping that he can just continue on with us.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We could talk. We're getting to the rest of the goals. We've talked about subs. I feel like the past few matches about what they've been and when they've come. So after the Zaha goal, we're up 2-1. The first one out is Tuiloma for Doumbia in the 72nd minute, which again was another situation where I think there was a play where it really could have been 2-2, where
Yes.
Tuiloma just gets absolutely burned. Like he hits a point in like the 65th or so minute where he
I know exactly what you're
completely
talking
runs
about.
out of gas.
Yep.
He's just done. Like you can see on the field, on TV or in person, like he hits a point where he is done. And
Yep.
he hit that point, and we got lucky to get away without giving up a goal because of a massive save by Kalina there.
Sure. Yeah.
But he clearly hits that point, and so we make the sub there to put in Doumbia, and then in the 76th minute, it's Tiger Smalls for Vargas. How did you feel about those subs and the timing and players?
Let me start with Bill. We've said this a couple of times. Bill has not played 90 minutes in
Yeah.
2.5 years for club or company, or for country, not company.
Yeah.
So it's going to take I think he's almost there, but you're right. I know exactly the play you're talking about. I'm like, is Bill hurt? Because that was really bad.
Yeah.
Like god awful defending. And it was like, yeah, you need to get him out because that was really bad. But anyway, I think he's going to get there. And I've really liked the way Bill has played.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. So, I'm glad they made the change. I think it's just a matter of time before Bill just gets there. Doumbia played pretty well. I think he was the one that kind of did he help start the second or I think maybe it was that third goal.
I think he's the one third. Yeah.
Yeah. He's the one that actually got it to Zaha with a pretty good move, and then Zaha to Pep. I think Doumbia is the one that starts that. And so he put in a pretty good shift. And then if you want to talk about Kerwin Vargas I thought had a really good game. He comes out. Tiger Smalls comes in. There were a couple of times I was screaming at Tiger Smalls defensively because I thought he was being, for just coming in at the 76th minute, really lazy getting back.
Mm.
And I was trying to watch. I was watching Westwood. Westwood was really kind of like barking at him.
Yeah.
And then really like trying to big up him, like when he did anything defensively, like literally anything. He was like going over there patting him, and like I just think Tiger needs to really focus on that. I love Tiger Smalls, by the way. Don't get me wrong. And I love him offensively. There was just a couple of, because he's coming in for fresh legs. You have the lead. You need to play defense then also be an outlet. But there was a couple times where defense was just really not on his mind. It didn't seem like so.
Yeah,
I was having a little bit of issues there.
Yep. No, totally agreed. And so comes to, what was it? The 86th minute.
Yeah.
We give up what feels like inevitable goal because we can't just run away with the match at this point. It's got to be interesting. So in a match that basically, I feel like everybody was writing it off. The commentators, everybody was like, well, this was a really good performance by Charlotte, and Atlanta can't win a match ever. And, just like all this talk about it. Then all of a sudden, 86th minute, Atlanta gets some life there with a Latte Lath goal. It was Latte Lath, wasn't it? Yeah. A Latte Lath goal to make it a 1-goal match. Again, a match that felt like Charlotte had solidly in hand, and all of a sudden, it's a real nervy end of the match there. So yeah, I know you said you had some thoughts that you want to talk about on that second goal for Atlanta. So this is your moment.
Yeah. Pull, I know, Corey, pull up the goal if you can and watch with me.
Yep, I'm doing it.
So if you guys go back and watch Ruddy on this play, because he's more at fault for this one. I think one we didn't shut down in the middle. I'll just say that we were back on our heels again, kind of ball watching. Um, if you watch Ruddy, he does that thing that Tim did in the first goal. Ruddy is on the wrong side of his man. He steps up as if like, oh my gosh, let's try to catch him on an offside trap, but then doesn't step to a man and gets kind of beat with a ball to like
Yeah.
if you kind of go back and watch. If Ruddy guards a guy, none of this happens.
Because the man he was close to, if I'm looking at it right, was Latte Lath. Like
That is exactly who he should be guarding.
That's who he steps past. He tries to step up past him, and then he makes him wide open.
Thank you. So I'm not crazy. So I'm and I'm not trying to just beat somebody to death. Like our fullbacks are absolutely killing us this year, guys.
Goal.
Yeah, go ahead, Corey.
I'm watching it, so I can here. We haven't done this in a while. We can share a screen. So let me try to pull this up real fast. All right, so if we're looking here, the first one who does it is Reem.
He always step up.
Yeah, so it's what we just talked about a second ago. So you've got Marshall Ruddy here, and you've got Reem up here, and you'll see Reem first step up to try to make a play on the ball, which I guess kind of makes sense in the situation. But because Ruddy does also, then you've got Latte Lath is just green.
Who
much
is
green.
Ruddy stepping up to? Like, why is he stepping up? It makes no sense.
Because Reem's already there. If anybody's going to get to it, it's Reem. He's not going to prove anything here. So, him stepping up allows the ball to come through. And then Dumia makes a valiant effort.
Kleina needs this. I think Kleina needs to save that.
So that was my thought, too, a little bit. I know it's kind of putting him one-on-one with a player, but it felt like he could have done better getting a more solid contact on that ball, because he gets some contact and clearly it just kind of rolls over. But I really thought, it's not to put too much pressure on him because it was set up by kind of this poor defensive play right here. But I was really hoping he could get a little more, do something better with that at that angle.
Yeah.
But I'll stop sharing that now. But
But
again, it what felt like it was going to be kind of finally cruise to an easy win, a big win over a rival, a big away win. How badly do we need some away wins to go with this stretch of home matches we have? 3 wins in a row. It's just all this stuff that we kind of had going for us. And then all of a sudden it became a very, very stressful 8 minutes of stoppage time also.
8 minutes. I don't know where that came from.
I just knew it. As soon as it happened, I was like, of course they're going to give us some absurd amount of stoppage time.
Yeah, I was not feeling good. Like, they scored in the 85th minute. And even then, I'm like, oh, my God, got 5. And then when they put up 8 minutes, I was kind of like, well, there goes that. So and that's such a sad thing to say. That's the state of our defense right now. And again, it's this bonehead weird thing. Like, why are we stepping up so much? Quit doing offside traps, man. Guard a guy. That's all you need to do. Like, I just go back and look at these goals. They're just so stupid. I don't understand. So
absolutely.
And I think there's some questions later about who we're beating. Like the teams that we've beat lately are not very good. But again, I will say you play who's in front of you.
Yeah.
And we didn't lose those games. So there you go.
Absolutely. So obviously we survived those 8 minutes of stoppage time, pulled away with the win. Any final thoughts? Because you're right. We have some questions we want to get into. Any final thoughts from the match that maybe we won't have addressed by the questions?
I think that's all of my notes that I had. Now we'll say, we were just kind of crapping on Kleina. Kleina made 2 unbelievably great saves to keep us in it. I think there was one in the 55th minute and there was one in the 71st minute that basically kept this game alive for us. So big shout out to him. I know we were just talking about how I probably should have saved the 1 goal, but at the same time, the 2 goals that he saved was very reminiscent of last year. Like, we've played well, we're tough to beat, and then but Kleina still has to make like 2 or 3 goalkeeper of the year saves, and he did. And I was like, yes, maybe Kalina's back. And then we give up that 1 goal. I'm like, oh, there's Kalina 2022. There we go.
Oh no. Oh man! All right, let's get into our mailbag. I'm going to kind of bounce around here. We'll go ahead and talk about the one you referenced as far as opponents. And Eric Hill and then Matt Nolan both kind of asked similar questions. I'm going to read both of them together, and we can kind of talk about it generally. So Eric says, have our last 4 results been more of an indication of cleaning up poor play from May to June, or a product of the dreadfully bad teams we've been playing? And then kind of the follow-up to that, Matt Nolan says, Toronto sucks and Leagues Cup doesn't give good info. Are the matches at Cincinnati and against, is that SLC? Is that St. Louis City? Is that who he's talking about?
I'm not
Hold
sure.
on.
Is he talking about Salt Lake City?
Salt Lake City. Thank you.
Real
That makes
Lake.
more sense. I was about to say it can't be St. Louis.
Yeah.
Real Salt Lake. I'm going to double check based on his dates. 8/16. Yeah, so he's talking about Salt Lake. So basically saying, are those a better measure for how we should feel going into the fall? What are your thoughts on kind of opponents and how it really shows where we're at right now?
We tied Orlando City, who's pretty good. We beat NYCFC. Kept a clean sheet there. Beat a pretty bad DC United team and beat a pretty bad Atlanta team, and we're going to face a not so great Toronto team. But then we play Cincinnati and Real Salt Lake and Red Bull. We play all the teams that we're supposed to, and you play who's in front of you. I think if we can stop those little lapses, like we talked about on those 2 goals, and now that we were getting everybody back healthy, and after Leagues Cup we'll have Nathan Byrne back, it seems so. I'm hopeful that we'll be kind of back to where we were at the beginning of the season, at least. But I mean, you play who's in front of you, can't really tell. I mean, Leagues Cup's going to give us some info too. And it give us some opportunity to see who's going to get some minutes, who maybe is not going to get minutes, and that will very much tell us who's going to be leaving.
Yeah.
It kind of I like Leagues Cup, but it kind of sucks that we're having it now because we do have momentum. And this happened last year. We had momentum.
Yep.
Got into Leagues Cup, and then out of Leagues Cup we faltered, which we cannot do this year. We do not have the buffer. The teams above us are just running away, so we've got to not falter after Leagues Cup. And I'm actually perfectly okay if we just bow out of this tournament pretty early.
Yes.
The way this season is shaping up. I don't know. So we got to salvage this season.
You're joining my side from last year. Just like, I don't care if we make it past the knockout or past the group stage. No, I mean, I think I agree with you. I think you got to even look back at like this bad stretch of losses. Like, it's not like we were only losing to great teams. I mean, we lost twice to Chicago, who is a team that if we are where we are expecting to be is below us in the standings. Like, that's a team we need to beat at least one of those 2 matches. And we gave up, 7 goals in 2 matches to Chicago. And then there's a Sporting Kansas City away loss, which was another just brutal. You cannot give up those. That's needs to be
that's
points.
One we should have won, right? We lost that in stoppage time.
Yeah. So there's certain ones like, Philadelphia, that makes sense. New England we should have won. Yep. Yeah. So like a lot of these losses are not kind of acceptable losses. So it wasn't like we were playing the top 4 teams and that's why we got all those losses. And now that we're playing the bottom 4, it's a different story. No, like we were losing to some teams we should have been beaten. And so I think it's probably a little bit of both. Yes, we're playing some worse teams more at home, and Atlanta is on the road, but it's, we play pretty well there and it's a close road trip. And I think that makes a little bit of a difference. So I think it can be a little bit of a both, but I think we are finally seeing some of the things coming together. We're still seeing some of the same gaps like we've just talked about. Like, we're still seeing some of the same issues, but not to the degree, and we're at least able to cover them a little better with some of our play. So But I don't think that changes anything about the fact that, I think those first two matches coming out of League's Cup that Matt mentioned with Cincinnati and Salt Lake, like those are going to be huge. Those are going to be really big matches coming out of there to see where we're at coming out of that summer break and getting back into the final stretch of MLS play. So, go ahead.
Yeah, the Cincinnati game is away, so that one's going to be tough, right?
Yeah.
Just kind of a point would be great. The one that we need to win is Real Salt Lake, and then we have Red Bull after that. The one that we really need to get some revenge on is New England. Just where they are in the table, and that is away. But that is one that I would circle and be like, this is the one we got to get some revenge for.
Yep, absolutely. I will also say the second part of Matt's thing was, let's stop saying, quote, get to fourth to get a home playoff game, because we get one for every slot from eighth up. So just some semantics there, but it's true. We will host the game regardless, unless we finish ninth. All right. True. Let's see. I think I'm just making sure as I'm looking through our questions. I think everything else kind of goes to some transfer issues. Let me throw this one out here from Thomas. With Byrne coming back, like you said, likely sometime after League's Cup, hopefully, who would be your preferred choice at left back to finish the season? Doumbia, JMR, or Ream with Privet at center back? And there's some other options too. Like obviously we've seen Tuiloma play fullback as well, so there's some options. But yeah, if you've got Byrne, who do you got playing on the left side?
That's a really good question. Because what worked last year and beginning of the season was Tim Ream on the left, and you had Privet and Milana, but for some reason Privet's just not clicking like it was last year. So I'd probably do Doumbia, right? Unless you sign someone else, of course. And then that way you have Ruddy, who I think we should maybe think about keeping, even though I've been very critical. I think he's very good. He's just young. He can learn under Byrne, but I like that he can play left and right back. He also has I will say this about the DC United game, because I was watching him very closely. I was like right on the field, and I was very keyed in on him. I like his attitude. I like his passion and how like pumped up he gets. I think he likes this team, and I'd very much like for him to stay, even though I've been critical. I think he could learn, but so he's nice to have. But I think it would be Doumbia on the left, then Byrne on the right, and then that way you would have Ruddy that could sub either way. Yep.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too. And mostly for the same reason of, I think the midfield isn't as sorted as it was last year. Like it's not necessarily always going to be Privet Malanda in those center back roles. So you can't just put Tim Ream out left just to keep him on the field. Like I think you might see him at center back more often than not. And so with that in mind, and again, Doumbia, when he's been healthy, like he hasn't been perfect by any stretch, but I also had, I've been okay with the way he's played out there. So I feel good about him plus Byrne going there again, assuming they don't sign anybody. We'll go from there. All right. I think, like I said, everything else feels like kind of transfer window type questions. I'm going to bring in Charles, who I know is watching every week, which I really appreciate. He sent us a message that says, with regard to possible transfers in, I would welcome your thoughts on getting a new number 8. From my perspective, the team still struggles to advance the ball through midfield. Passing can be poor at times, and our current midfielders get pushed off the ball too much. Talked about this a little bit, no, not necessarily the last part, but we talked about that midfield connection not being there and being part of the struggle that we've seen when we were talking about the Atlanta match. But what are your thoughts on when we're looking at transfer targets bringing in the number 8?
Well, we've seen people get brought in to quote unquote replace Brent Bronico, and that has not panned
irreplaceable.
The thing is, like we talked about, one of the goals where he gets the ball, dribbles into space, and play. So that can be done. So I don't know if this is like a strategy or coaching part. As I don't know. Is it that, or is it the actual players not being able to execute?
Right.
Other than like one-offs here and there. But here's the thing: if you have a DP spot open right now. You could go out and get a DP caliber number 8 to replace, I guess, Brant, or an aging Westwood.
Mm-hmm.
But they better be damn good, because Brant keeps beating people to get on the field. We brought
Yeah.
in Gianni. We brought in Williamson. These guys are rotating in and out, not seeing tons of minutes. So I don't know, but I think if the guys are told what to do on the field, we could see exactly
Yeah.
that what led to the goal. So it's there. How do you make it consistent? How do you get that in their head? Or is it like, Brant and Westwood are just so much kind of alike in a lot of ways that there's always going to be this, like, you got to start barking at them like, hey, you guys need to separate. You guys need to get in better position in the field and line up a little progressive, I guess. So I don't know that I don't know. It's a really, really good question.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna go get an 8, like go get like a legit game changer, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I think to your point, this is a position or a problem or whatever you want to call it that we've thrown money at in the past. Like we've tried, bringing in not a DP level necessarily, but like, how many
Yeah.
people have we brought into that midfield, like you said,
Yeah.
to be in one of those roles, and then we end up with, it's still going to be Westwood, it's still going to be Bronico. Like there's that's just what works. So I do wonder at this point, is it a personnel issue or is it a coaching and mentality issue of how we struggle? Because I do think that there are definitely a lot of matches where that seems to be an issue. So there's something going on there, but I don't know if personnel is right. The only thing I would say is, yeah, either go big or like you do start thinking about, I don't think he's like knocking on the door of retirement or anything like that, but like Westwood is getting later in his career. Like at some point it's like, do we start kind of building toward, okay, what does the midfield look like once Westwood is done? Not, definitely not going back to the bench Westwood conversation of the previous seasons or the previously in this season. but yeah, I just think they're like, maybe you start preparing for that. But otherwise, like, yeah, I wonder if it's more of a, let's think about how we get these two players to play together better to create those opportunities in the middle versus bringing in yet another player. But
I think Westwood has about, I would say, one more season.
Yeah.
Unless now I could see if this season just completely falls apart, he could be done after this season. But like I would say after next season, I would imagine he'd be done. So you've got to start thinking about that. And it's very clear that Dean is not going to give Pekovic any minutes. And I kind of alluded to this about Leagues Cup, about like who may play, and if they're not playing, they're going to be on their way out. I could see Pekovic being sold or loaned out. But yeah, you've got to get some type of.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's Gianni. I don't think it's Williamson. We grossly overpaid for Williamson. I'm not pleased with that deal, but I'll give the front office a little bit of grace on some of the other great things that they've done. But I think that's been a miss so far.
All right. Thank you, Charles, for that. All right. So Matt Jones says, what happens to Tokomati if is it
Giamakis?
There's like an extra K. Giacomakis? Is it Giacomakis? There's like an extra syllable in there. Anyway, we know who we're talking about. Or a striker like him gets signed. So what happens to Tokomati? Does that mess up a good thing? Are we better off just letting our team gel with the promising young players? The best teams seem to go that route, like Philly, Columbus, etc. So again, we've talked about there being a need at striker. Does that Tokomati's been playing really well. Like we don't, not to knock what he's been doing. It's not like he needs to be replaced, but we still look at that striker role as a need. So if you bring in someone who is like a high level striker like that, how does that kind of mess with maybe what's already working right now?
So it's funny. I don't want this to happen, but I would be interested to see how this fan base feels when Tokomati doesn't score for 4 games and we've lost a couple of games during that time.
Yeah.
So that's the thing for me. We're high on him right now, and I love Tokomati. It's been great.
Yeah.
And I know we've talked about this. Zoran loves Tokomati. But what happens when he's young? he's not going to score every game.
Yeah.
What happens then when we lose a game and we don't score a goal? Or we lose a game and Tokomati should probably had a goal and didn't, or whatever the case is. Do people be like, "Oh man, we should have signed? Told you we should have signed that DP striker, man." But then you got the other fan base is like, "No, you got to let the kid cook, and if you bring somebody in, he doesn't get minutes, and we got to build the future." Like, there's this like definite debate. But we talked about last show. You don't have to necessarily settle, I guess, is a good word this time. You don't have to get your second or third option as a DP if you're going to go that route.
Right.
Make sure it's your number one target that is absolutely that you think is going to come in and just change the game, right?
Yep.
Dominant, big name, massive, right? Game changer. Not a kind of like, man, let's see if this happens. Like,
yeah,
you gotta know. Because you could use that DP spot for a number 8. You could use it for another winger or whatever the case is. So,
yeah. No, I agree. I think again, like you mentioned, we talked about this in the previous episode. If we can get that number one choice, big name, massive signing, you take it and you go with it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think we do need to bring someone in just because Tokomati cannot be playing 90 minutes a match. And we can sub people for him, but there's not an obvious sub for him in this. It's more just kind of like bringing in an attacker, like a Tiger Smalls or someone like that to kind of fill the role. But there's not an obvious other striker on the team. So we need somebody. So I think it's either, you're going for the huge signing who you had top of the board the entire time. And if that doesn't hit, then it's not a DP. It's someone else who can play quality minutes, can either, they start, and I think Tokomati should keep getting regular playing time. Like if it's, a 60-30 split, like whatever side of that 60 and 30 he's on, he should still be getting regular time. But if you can get maybe someone with more experience who maybe is a better starter, and then Tokomati comes on as an energy change in the, in the second half, great. But I think you do need something. I don't think that messes anything up. I do think, though, it's important that he keeps getting playing time. I think whatever they bring in, and I don't think that would be their plan, is to bury him. It's more to just kind of offer some support in that position, because right now we don't have anybody else, and that's just the scary position to be in that role.
Agreed.
All right, we have some fun questions. I'm making sure we had to answer all the real questions before we do the fun ones. Oh, Philip Sanford. Who is one player who has played sparingly or is with Crown Legacy that you'd like to see get some time during the Leagues Cup matches?
Brandon Cambridge, baby.
God,
and he's
I feel like I know. That was my answer. I knew you were going to say it. I was trying to go first, but you beat me to it.
Oh, my bad.
No, you're good. Absolutely Brandon Cambridge. I was so excited to see him come back against DC.
Yeah, I thought almost scored a goal. I wish he would have buried that.
God, I wanted it.
But no, he's such a good dude, and he's been injured, so it's just good to have him back. And that's the guy that you play and start in Leagues Cup. You get him minutes, you get him fit, you get him ready. So then after Leagues Cup's done, he is ready to go. If Abada gets hurt again or whatever the case is, you've got Brandon that can give you some energy. And he looked pretty good out there for just the little minutes that he had. That he would be the one. But the other one, Pekovic,
that's who I had in mind too.
Is he gonna play? Is he gone?
If we don't see him at Leagues Cup, I think you kind of hinted this earlier. If we don't see him in Leagues Cup, he's got to be gone. I mean, there's just no, if he's not even getting chosen for those matches, like, I mean, and I like him as a player, but if Dean's not going to play him, we need to move him on somewhere else at this point, but I do hope we see him some in Leagues Cup. But yeah, absolutely Brandon Cambridge. I was so excited to see him come back on. And I would love to see him get some real run in Leagues Cup there as well too.
Another one that, and I've been really hard on this dude. What about Scardinha as maybe getting some minutes at wing? Put him on the wing. Let's see what he could do. Don't play him as a defender. Like, why not? Or like at least maybe a sub. come in. I want to see what he can do at the wing, because we got rid of Tavares, so we're a little thin anyway. So I'd like to see what the kid can do there.
I mean, this is the time to do it. We talked about with like U.S. Open Cup as well, too. I mean, this is the time to kind of try some players in different roles and um, play some younger players and see if there's some kind of spark you find. Again, this is when we discovered the Privet Malanda pairing at center back 2 years ago was
That's
Leagues Cup. And that was when it started, and then it held basically through the beginning of this year. So you never really know. This is a chance to do some of that. And so, yeah, Scardina is another one that would be interesting to see him in more of a natural position for him rather than playing that right back role that he's been kind of forced into due to injuries.
yeah. I'd like to see the minutes that Pep gets during Leagues Cup, um, and see if they like limit him. And it'd
Yeah,
be interesting to see who plays in that role
yeah,
if they do limit him. Who's going to be that cam? So
yeah. That'll be interesting. Yeah, so that's what's to me is kind of fun about something. I mean, there's a couple of fun things on Leagues Cup. Obviously, playing some of these Mexican teams is always just fun to play different teams, different leagues, different fan bases. That's interesting. But to me, I also like to see like, okay, let's try some different things. Let's run out some different players and see if there's anything that you know is a spark or something that we can use later in the MLS season as well too. So
and I want to talk about Leagues Cup for a second. Like, I like Leagues Cup. To your point, you get to play other teams, but now I guess we're back in Open Cup too. MLS is like NASCAR. I don't know
oh,
if
wow.
if you have any. I don't know if we have any NASCAR fans out there,
Yeah.
but
I'm
NASCAR
sure. I'm sure there's
cannot
some overlap. I don't think it's huge, but I think there's some overlap here. Go ahead.
NASCAR cannot figure out their identity anymore, and that is
Mm,
MLS. Every single year, NASCAR
yeah.
is changing the playoff format. They are changing race locations. They are
Yeah.
now changing the All Star game. Now they're going back to like the old tracks, like North Wilkesboro, which is awesome, by the
Hmm.
way.
Yes.
Um, and MLS is very much the same. It's like, we're not doing Open Cup, but well, we're gonna kind of half-ass do it. Now we're back in it. Now we're gonna do Leagues Cup, and then now we're gonna announce the All Star game. Hey, Don Garber, who's the All Stars gonna play? I don't know. That's what he said. I don't know. I don't know. We don't know. Why would we know?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, let's. I mean, did you hear him? Like, he was just like, well, there's this thing called the World Cup going on, and maybe since the World Cup's going on, we'll have all these teams. Maybe he's saying something stupid, saying something alluding to maybe like getting a team to. I don't know, man. It's like, are you going to play Liga MX again? Like, you're doing that this year. You've been doing that. Why not East West? It just seems like it just get an identity and stick with it, man. People will back it. Just pick something, stick with it, and do it. Build traditions.
Yeah, it does feel like we're going through like I don't know if it's like I don't know. This is a weird comparison to make. It's like a puberty phase for MLS. It's like
Yeah.
we're going through this phase now where it's like all the expansion and the growth of the game. Like I really feel like over the obviously for us it's been the last 4 years we've been
Yeah.
so intimately involved in it, but like I feel like the league and soccer in the U.S. in general has grown pretty substantially over the last decade or so. And so there was like MLS before, and now it's like we made this huge expansion in the teams. We're adding these competitions like Leagues Cup. We're deciding how we want to have our relationship with the U.S. Open Cup, and I don't know. It's like a weird kind of like we haven't really figured out who we are yet moment for the league. And we have Messi, but like we're also like kind of a development league for other countries. It's like what is the identity of this league?
Yeah.
And I think like it probably just take a few years. I think to just hopefully we'll land somewhere. But I do think we are seeing a little bit of that of like, what is this? What is this league? And, or at least how do we see ourselves as far as, how we do the All-Star game, how we do some of these cup tournaments that we're doing throughout the season,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
It's crazy, man. Like all these other sports, they have certain tournaments and they do certain things, and then that's it. Now the NBA is doing some stupid like tournament. It's like, man, just people like the sport because they like it. You don't have to just invent things to do it. Like, if you're going to play Open Cup, then play Open Cup and mark it and go full on.
Yeah.
Don't be like, well, we're going to like have these players play and only these teams. And then like we're doing Leagues Cup, and then like just pick a thing, do it, and keep doing it that way. Just like the All-Star game. Just make it East versus West.
It is. I mean, yeah, that's what it should be. But I also think the MLS really wants to leave Open Cup, but like feels some kind of guilty about it.
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, we've had
they
this
really
huge
want to get
debate.
out of it.
We've had this huge debate on it. Like, I don't like the way it was run. I don't think it's right that MLS has to foot the bill for it. But they need to U.S. Soccer needs to figure that out.
Yeah.
And they need to play Open Cup, but they just need to make it a thing and make it a big thing, right? Go all in on it. Soccer fans will like it, and they will be there. But they just they always half-ass everything. U.S. Soccer always half-asses everything, and then MLS just can't figure out what they want to do every 5 seconds.
Yep, that's pretty much right. Okay, let's see. All right, let me pull up. I think we're to our fun questions, but let me double check to make sure. Yeah, I think we're basically on fun questions now. So let's get into them.
All right.
From Fatbird. I really like this one. Now that it's been leaked that they've started filming season 4 of Ted Lasso, which fictional player from the show would you want on Charlotte FC? He named some players. I'm not going to put any names in your head first.
Yeah.
I have a name that's not one he named. But do you have one that you would want to put on the team? Man, have you seen Ted Lasso? First of all, have you watched Ted Lasso, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool.
I love Ted Lasso.
All right, this would be a really different question if you hadn't seen the show.
Okay, yeah, good. I'm interested to see how they're going to do season 4 after season 3. So that's going to be
no spoilers,
that's going to be cool. Yeah. I mean, Danny Rojas is hilarious, and just his positive energy, I think, would be good for the team. And I think he's like the easiest one to say too. Yep. But I'll still go with him.
Yep. No, so that's one of the ones. I'll name the ones that Fatbird named for us here. He said the obvious choices being Zava or Jamie Tart. He thinks, but why do I think it's actually Danny Rojas? My answer is Sam Obisanya. Sam is my favorite character on that show. I mean, obviously Ted Lasso is amazing, but Sam Obisanya is just such like his arc in that show, and the way he is as a player, and his optimistic mentality, and his positivity, and the way he works with the players. He's just one of those. He's like one of those kind of glue guys on a team. Yeah. And so I really like him. He'd be the one I'd like to see at Charlotte SC. But there's a lot of good choices. I like actually to pull up like a roster. So I mean, I know he's retired. Roy Kent is still hilarious. One of my favorite characters of all time. But there's some good ones on there too. But if you haven't watched Ted Lasso, if somehow you haven't done it, just please do it. It's amazing. It's a great show. No idea how season 4 is going to work, but first 3 seasons, great. Mm-hmm. All right. From Eric Hill. The much anticipated release of Fantastic Four is this week. I'm not a superhero movie person. Are we really anticipating this? Are you excited about this movie?
Hell yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I'm happy for y'all.
Yeah. I'm a nerd, man. Like I love that stuff.
Let me be clear. I've seen most of them. I appreciate them and I enjoy them, but it's just not, I don't know. I didn't realize it was coming out. So and I also don't know anything about Fantastic Four. So I'm going to let you take the lead on this question. Okay. So give us 4 Charlotte players that match the characteristics of the Fantastic Four and a quick reason for each choice. And he does, for people like me, I guess, spell out the 4 characteristics. One being a solid rock. The second being a field stretcher. The third being a player on fire. And 4 is a player that's invisible.
Well, Abada's invisible for me. Uh, was that supposed to be a positive? Was that supposed to be a positive thing?
As I was reading it, I was thinking, like, do we read this as positive or negative? Like, I really could see it either way. I think you should stick with the Bada. Like, I think that's your
Yes. Okay.
that's your
Sorry.
answer.
Yeah. And so the
A
player on
solid rock.
fire. Oh,
Okay, player on
solid
fire. Go ahead.
rock.
You can
Oh,
start
you want
player
to
on
go
fire. That's
fire?
fine. Yeah,
Fire.
go for it.
Pep Yo.
Yep,
Human Torch. That's the Human Torch.
agreed.
The Rock. That's going to be probably, I'd say Bronico or Westwood is the thing.
Bronico is who is in my brain first for that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the last one is a field stretcher.
Field stretcher. Well, you got Sue Storm too. Oh no, she's invisible. Yeah, she's Invisible Woman, and then Reed Richards is the field stretcher. But he's also the smart one though. He's the brains behind it. So who's the brains of the team? Who do you think is the smartest player on the team?
I feel like this is a dangerous question to answer. Smartest player on the field.
I feel like Melanda is
I was thinking a center or someone on the defensive line there.
I feel like Melanda
could
be like very book smart.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I have no basis for that, but I'm gonna go Melanda.
I had to think about this. This is a really, I've never thought about this is, and we're talking like, because there's like book smart. Now we're getting into the weeds. There's like book smart and like soccer smart. Like there's different kinds of.
So Mr. Fantastic
smart.
is like super highly intelligent, like book smart, nerdish, like one of the smartest people in the Marvel universe.
Okay.
Just as smart as Tony Stark, but kind of in a different way.
Interesting.
Dude, I should do a comic.
You really should. Yeah, this was clearly. I'm glad you were on this show because if it was me trying to answer this question, I would have no clue. I mean, yeah, I was going not to feel like I'm always copying you, but I was going toward Melanda. The other one, like when you framed it as field stretcher, I was thinking like a Zaha.
Yeah.
I could also see him. I don't know. I could see him being sneaky smart, like behind the kind of boisterous, kind of on-field persona. He spends his weekends relaxing with a good book and a glass of wine.
Now Zaha kind of reminds me. Zaha kind of reminds me of Johnny Storm, who's the Human Torch, because Johnny Storm is more cocky and like runs his mouth a lot.
Okay, yeah, that's much more Zaha.
Is witty and says things. He's like not really the comic relief, but he's the funny one. He's the smart ass one. He's the one that he's the bad boy. So that could be Zaha too. There you go.
You know, I might have said. I mean, he's no longer on the team. But as far as smartest player on the team, I might have gone with Pat when he was with us. I could have thrown him out there too. Then I started wanted to look at like where people went to college, but I'm not going to get into all that.
Oh, that's true.
I'm not going to do that research while we're live on the show. All right. I think if I missed your question, I apologize. I was kind of doing this on the fly, but I think we got everybody. As always, the plug, if you have not already, please, you can join our Discord by going to our Patreon and throwing us a few bucks a month. You'll get a link to the Discord channel. That's where we chat before matches, after matches, during matches. So we also put in all our questions to answer on the weekly show. And it's also how you get access to the Mint City Soccer Show secret show, which is very hard to say, which we are planning to do for this week. Usually a preview episode of the upcoming match, since we don't really talk about the upcoming match very much in this show. Also, like David, who's not here, has been coming up with some ideas about different kinds of secret shows, and I'm not totally sure what we're doing.
I'm not either. I'm a little scared.
But just know that David's got ideas. So if you want to hear what David's working on, you can get signed up, listen to that. We'll give you a link to access the secret show and follow us there as well too. But
we also do soccer and coffee on Saturday, like game day mornings around like 9 or 10 a.m. David and I will get on Discord, and it's video, and you can join. You don't have to be on video, but you can join the chat. We used to do this on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it, but we wanted to kind of move it off that platform for reasons. And then,
Yeah.
and so we're doing it through Discord. It's actually a lot of fun. People will join and just chat and talk about soccer, Fantastic Four or whatever you guys want to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. So up next we have Toronto at home.
Yeah.
July 26th. We will again be previewing that probably in the secret show that comes out later this week if you are on that list. But again, another very winnable match before we head into Leagues Cup and a little bit of a break from MLS play. I really hope we enter that phase of the season on a high note after winning 3 matches in a row here. So anything else you want to say before we head out this week?
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at the standing, like the games before we got really lucky with some of the other fixtures and results. This weekend was a kind of a mixed bag, but we're in 7th. NYCFC has a game in hand below us. So does Chicago down below us. But we are on 35 points. But we did catch Orlando City. We closed the gap a little bit there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to, we're only 3 points out now of 6th. I'd like to try to claw that one back. I'd like to get in 6th. It really is looking like, I'd say maybe top 5 might be, unless we can catch fire and one of these teams just falter. I don't even know if we can get to 5th. 6th is doable.
Yeah, 6th is doable. 5th is hard because it's Miami, who currently still has 3 games in hand somehow.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude.
I know they played a lot of stuff, but come on.
Yeah.
Time to catch up. I think you're right. Like, we're really playing for 6th right now. And 6 through 10 is separated by 6 points. So it is a very tight little race right there for those final 4 playoff spots.
Like, one of these teams would have to falter: Cincinnati, Nashville, Philadelphia, Columbus, or Miami. Which one of those teams do you think will just crap the bed and just start? I mean, it's doable. I got to say, Nashville is probably the most surprising team that I've seen. I thought that they would literally be kind of where we are this season, or like even 8th or 9th, and they have just surprised everybody. So that's another spot that I don't think a lot of people anticipated would be taken. But we had a bad run of form there. So, and that gap just really spread. But like I will say, after the Leagues Cup, we have a lot of home games, right?
Right.
So things could shake out, but the points gap is getting pretty bad. I mean, we're 9 points out of 4th. That's a lot. That's 3 whole games that we would have to make up. But anything's possible, I guess.
It is. All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening. Again, sign up for the Discord and Patreon to listen to the secret show that we'll release later this week, or to get on the Soccer and Coffee on Saturday. But otherwise, thank you all for listening. We will see you next week. We'll hopefully see you at the bank on Saturday to get another 3 points for the crown.
Yeah, see you guys.